As he does every week at this time is Joe diGenova. The deep state unraveling of the multiple conspiracies, soft coup attempts to get rid of President Trump continue, and we've got multiple updates this week. Joe diGenova, thanks for being with us here on the Howie Carr Show.
You bet, Howie.
I guess the first thing we should do is to let people know that the John Durham investigation, he's the U.S. attorney from Connecticut. According to the Wall Street Journal, his investigation is continuing in spite of this semi-shutdown of the federal and the state governments.
Yes, it is. And one of the more interesting revelations, which I have confirmed with my sources, is that John Brennan is, in fact, the main focus of the investigation. And a number of former intelligence officers have been interviewed and apparently testified about a series of questions involving the production of the famous assessment that was done after the election, which, of course, as you know, was a phony assessment. It was a constructed document. It was not, in fact, an assessment of anything. And that is very interesting because what they're doing is they're looking at what Brennan did and what he asked other people to do in terms of that, and some other things as well. So apparently Mr. Durham has not been deterred by the virus.
Yeah, that was the one where they said 21 agencies signed off on this, and in fact it was 4, and they were all the 4 agencies that were controlled by these corrupt Obama hack officials like Brennan and Comey and Clapper, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
But what crime can they get him for? I've been thinking about this all weekend.
Well, it depends. They are clearly looking at abuse of power. In other words, were the resources of the CIA illegally used to undertake domestic intelligence operations? Were resources of the CIA used to illegally create a plot to either falsely lead FBI officials into a scheme or to conspire with FBI officials to deny certain people their civil rights? Now, while this is happening, remember what just happened with the FISA court. There was that scathing
Part two of the segment. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, but what happened there was they showed how bad there was no backup for almost 49 of these FISA warrants. But here's what's really interesting. As a result of that, the FISA chief judge, Judge Boasberg, demanded to know from the
liberal from San Francisco.
He demanded to know from the FBI the names of all the targets in those 49 warrants. Why
I didn't know
do
that.
Yes,
49 targets.
The names of the targets, and the reason he did was, after looking at the Carter page, people were Republicans, because he's looking, as the chief judge, at misconduct by a large number of FBI agents for one reason only, not only to get the warrants, but to do so for unmasking and then leaking of information about individuals for political purposes. And that is really something. When he asked for the names of the targets, I knew exactly what he was doing.